Ezekiel chapter 48. These are the tribes. Dan, one portion along with the northern boundary, following the Hethlon road that turns off to the entrance of Hamath, as far as Hazar Enon, so that the territory of Damascus lies to the north alongside Hamath, the northern border stretching from east to west. Asher, one portion bordering Dan from east to west. Naphtali, one portion bordering Asher from east to west. Manasseh, one portion bordering Naphtali from east to west. Ephraim, one portion bordering Manasseh from east to west. Reuben, one portion bordering Ephraim from east to west. Judah, one portion bordering Reuben from east to west. Bordering Judah from east to west is the consecrated area that you will set aside as holy, a square approximately 7 by 7 miles, with the sanctuary set at the center. The consecrated area reserved for God is to be 7 miles long and a little less than 3 miles wide. This is how it will be parceled out. The priest will get the area measuring 7 miles on the north and south boundaries, with a width of a little more than 3 miles at the east and west boundaries. The sanctuary of God will be at the center. This is for the consecrated priests, the Zadokites, who stayed true in their service to me and didn't get off track as the Levites did when Israel wandered off the main road. This is their special gift, a gift from the land itself, most holy ground bordering the section of the Levites. The Levites get a section equal in size to that of the priests, roughly 7 by 3 miles. They are not permitted to sell or trade any of it. It's the choice part of the land, to say nothing of being holy to God. What's left of the sacred square, each side measures out at 7 miles by a mile, and a half is for ordinary use. The city and its building with open country around it, but the city at the center, the north, south, east, and west sides of the city are each about 1.5 miles in length. A strip of pasture 125 yards wide will border the city on all sides. The remainder of this portion, 3 miles of countryside to the east and to the west of the sacred precinct, is for farming. It will supply food for the city. Workers from all the tribes of Israel will serve as field hands to farm the land. This is dedicated area set apart for holy purposes, will be a square 7 miles by 7 miles, a holy square, which includes the part set aside for the city. The rest of this land, the country stretching east to the Jordan and west to the Mediterranean, from the 7-mile sides of the holy square, belongs to the prince. His land is sandwiched between the tribal portions north and south, and goes out both east and west from the sacred square, with its temple at the center. The land set aside for the Levites on one side and the city on the other is in the middle of the territory assigned to the prince. The sacred square is flanked east and west by the prince's land and bordered on the north and south by the territories of Judah and Benjamin, respectively. And then the rest of the tribes: Benjamin, one portion stretching from the eastern to the western boundary. Simeon, one portion bordering Benjamin from east to west. Issachar, one portion bordering Simeon from east to west. Zebulun, one portion bordering Issachar from east to west. Gad, one portion bordering Zebulun from east to west. The southern boundary of Gad will run south from Tamar to the waters of Meribah Kadesh, along the brook of Egypt, and then out to the great Mediterranean Sea. This is the land that you are to divide up among the tribes of Israel as their inheritance. These are their portions, decree of God, the Master. These are the gates of the city on the north side, which is 2,250 yards long. The gates of the city are named after the tribes of Israel. 3 gates: the gate of Reuben, the gate of Judah, the gate of Levi. On the east side, measuring 2,250 yards, 3 gates: the gate of Joseph, the gate of Benjamin, the gate of Dan. On the south side, measuring 2,250 yards, 3 gates: the gate of Simeon, the gate of Issachar, the gate of Zebulun. On the west side, measuring 2,250 yards, 3 gates, the gate of Gad, the gate of Asher, the gate of Naphtali. The 4 sides of the city measured to a total of nearly 6 miles. From now on, the name of the city will be Yahweh Shammah. God is there. Amen.